ladies and gentlemen, coming to you.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, ding dong, that is the song. Ding, drove a ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound. All hail and be telling their tones, gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. On they send, on without end, their joyful tone to every home. Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, ding dong, that is the song. Ding, drove a ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound. All hail and be telling their tones, gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. On they send, on without end, their joyful tone to every home. On they send, on without end, their joyful tone to every home. Ding dong, ding dong, dong.
Ding president, ding president, ding president, ding president. I gotta run, I gotta run, I gotta run, I gotta run. I work a Burger King, I make flavor whoppers, wear a paper hat. Do you want an apple pie with that? Do you want an apple pie with that? Ding president, ding president, ding president, ding president, ding. Fries are done. What? Look, I'm standing out here in the cold. You guys are all inside. I'm out here freezing my, you know what, off.
Really?
Alright. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
I'm out here freezing my butt off, y'all. Look at me like I'm freezing.
Oh, man. Ah, yes. It is that time of the year, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, P Dog Night. And that's my Christmas video from last year, the 4 Martys. Yes, gayest person on YouTube. I did actually go there. And all the Martys in my life were showing off. If you want to see that video again, it's on my other channel, Marty's Big Journey, over on the YouTube still. Anyway. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P Dog Night. And stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P Dog Night. Yes, that was my Christmas video from last year. And it explains why, well, sort of explains why I'm letting the old facial hair grow in. It's slowly but surely, but it'll get there. And yes, because Marty Francis has to, Marty Francis has to have a full beard because that's the only, and then, but then I have to use like mascara or something to make it color because my beard comes in gray pretty much. And yes, Christmas has thrown up all over my house, and you can see that in the background. We got the manger scene up, we got Santa up here, we got the manger scene over here, we got stuff over here on the piano. Yes, we are getting ready for that grand old holiday, aka Christmas. Looking forward to it. And I just found out yesterday we have dinner reservations for New Year's Eve with some very good friends of ours. So we're looking forward to the holidays. But the holidays also mean that I'm going to have to move my studio somewhere else in the house. I think that's going to be that'll be upstairs like it used to be. I'm moving back upstairs because my son moved out this weekend. Yes, we are officially the empty nesters that we have been while my son was in school. He's got a house now, and he moved in with some friends, and so good. There you go. And it's Monday, the 2nd of December. I hope everyone had a good, beautiful Thanksgiving if you haven't been here since the weekend. And also, I hope you made it through Black Friday, or like we call it here, the Friday of Color. And if you were here Friday and Saturday, because I did a special show Saturday to make up for my is the Minion in the manger? Good question. What happened to my Minion? There it is. No, the Minion's over there. I'll have to move the Minion to within sight. But again, I'm moving my studio back up into my what was my son's room until he moved out the first time, and then I made that my studio, and then he moved back in, so I had to move it again. So I'm looking forward to that, even though I do kind of like being here in the dining room. Where things, just things around me. Anyway, let's get into the news today because move before he becomes a boomerang. Don't tell him where. Nah, I have there's very little chance of my son moving back in. I mean, he's a computer engineer and he's really good at it. And he got just one of those crazy job for a first time job. He's just making way too much money for anyone his age. But anyway, good for him. Works for us. Hey, and my daughter now works for, she just got a new job with Delta Airlines. And so she's going to be working for them. And so I'm not too worried about either my kids moving back in. And actually it's funny because we were talking about that last night. Lady Boomer and I are like, we own this condo that we've been renting out for a couple of years now, that we kind of acquired for my father-in-law. And we thought, could we live in a one-bedroom condo and just maybe store all our stuff or possibly rent out this house and just bank money until we retire? That's a possibility too. We're making decisions thinking about retirement, even though that's a good 10, 15 years off. But man, I suppose you got to think about that stuff, don't you? Anyway, let's get into the news, because my show today is called Dindus and Darwin, and we're going to get into that. That's just because the first two stories is about a Dindu and a Darwin. If you don't know what a Dindu is, you'll surely find out. But before I do that, let's say good morning to the chat, because I see a bunch of people here. People are rolling in. Good morning, Della Hayes, who was here first and gets the bell. Good morning, Chi-Town J and Necrosol Collins. Also, the gayest person. Not Necrosol Collins. Also, Necrosol Collins and the gayest person on YouTube, which are two different people. Also, good morning, D.I. Freighter, Duck Dog, RVA, Richo, and that's, the chat's filling up here even more. I got, hello, MC Hammer Time, good morning, and Dumbbeard, Geodes, haven't seen you for a while, nice to have you back, and I think that's everyone who's in the chat. There's a few people lurking. Hey, hit the like button, hit the share button. The share button's way more important. And if you want to do super chats, you can do that through the Streamlabs link in the description down below, or it will pop up in the chat every once in a while. So let's get into the news. Now, the first thing that I saw this, and hang on. Let me find it on Twitter first, because I just laughed my behind off when I saw this. Here it is. So I know a lot of you are familiar, or maybe familiar with Lisa Page. Now, if you're not sure if that name kind of sounds familiar, but you're not quite sure, Lisa Page is the FBI lawyer who, along with Peter Strzok, with whom she was having an affair, were texting back and forth while they were part of the Hillary Clinton classified information mishandling investigation. Notice I did not say email investigation. The mishandling of classified information scandal and the Trump-Russia investigation. She was part of both those investigations. And these two people, one was an FBI, like deputy executive director or something like that, and an FBI lawyer, were having an affair during the time that they were part of both of these investigations. So Lisa Page and Peter Strzok were texting back and forth. And the text didn't really, when they became public, it didn't look too good, because they were talking about having an insurance policy against the president and how, this guy, he will never be president. We'll stop it, according to Peter Strzok. And anyway, so they text back and forth, and they're both very anti-Trump. They both got kind of, what the hell is that? Where'd that come from? Oh, you know what? This damn ABC. Do I even need this one? Well, I do. This is part of my. Never mind. This is part of my. Sorry, that music it popping up from one of the channels that keeps just voluntarily starting videos for me, but it's one of my stories for today. Anyway, so yeah, Dindo. It means Dindus as in didn't do nothing. She didn't do nothing. So Lisa Page basically has this big article in the Daily Beast where she didn't do nothing. She's, here, let me see if I can find it, because holy crap. Well, I have the New York Post article, but she got interviewed by the Daily Beast, which is clearly well, they're just left of center. They're mostly anti-Trump, and the
person who interviewed her, she basically said, well, she didn't do nothing wrong. That's what didn't do means, right? Didn't do nothing wrong. And so, let's go through the New York Post article because I don't have the Daily Beast article pulled up. But here's the New York Post article. Okay, here we go. Lisa Page says Trump tweet attacks are like being punched in the gut. Aww, I'm so sad. Former FBI lawyer Lisa Page opened up about the criticism she has received from President Trump in an interview published on Sunday, revealing that it's like being punched in the gut whenever he tweets about her. Page, who bashed Trump in text messages to her special agent boyfriend, told the Daily Beast that she finally decided to speak out after the president acted out with fake orgasms to mock her text. Oh my God. ABC News, I hate you. Stop playing music. What the friggin' black? Oh, I have two of them open and they're both here. I'm gonna mute them both. There. That's there. Now you can't do that shit to me. All right, hang on. All right. Anyway, let me get back to this article. Okay. What did she say? Oh, okay. Page, who bashed Trump in text messages to her special agent boyfriend, told the Daily Beast that she finally decided to speak out after the president acted out a fake orgasm to mock her text with Peter Strzok during an October rally in Minneapolis. Now, I never saw that part, but anyway. Honestly, his demeaning fake orgasm was really the straw that broke the camel's back, she told the website. This is the woman who was having an affair with a married man. And, never mind. I had stayed quiet for years hoping it would fade away, but instead it got worse, she said. It had been so hard not to defend myself, to let people who hate me control the narrative. I decided to take my power back. Now, it's amazing to me. Her timing is fantastic because we all know that there's an Inspector General report about to hit the hemisphere. I don't know what even word to use here. But the Inspector General report regarding those investigations is about to come out, about 1,000 pages long. And there's also a criminal investigation. And there's a grand jury being convened. And we don't know anything except what has been leaked to some very, 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 what's the word? And I'll just say TDS news outlets oh gosh, what was that? TDS news outlets that have been talking about what has been leaked. And obviously it's like when the Washington Post and the New York Times has the leaks, they're obviously going to be, very narrative centered. And apparently one of the narratives that these people have leaked is that they're going to say that Lisa Page didn't do anything wrong. Well, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll find out. But anyway, a Justice Department Inspector General report into allegations by Trump that the FBI spied on his 2016 campaign is expected to be released December 9th. While it would be nice to have the IG confirm publicly that my personal opinions had absolutely no bearing on the course of the Russia investigation, I don't kid myself that the fact will matter very much for a lot of people, she said, referring to the allegations made by Trump. The president has a very loud microphone. Well, yes, he does. And here's one thing that I've Trump has this kind of bad habit of saying too much when I think in this case, the less he said until things came out would have been better, because it comes off to me, not that he doesn't have any right to complain about these people, but and usually not, it's funny because most things don't blow up in his face, but I just hope that this one doesn't too. I hope that a lot of what he's saying was correct, so he doesn't look like a fool, because I don't like how this all went down. I don't like how they, found a way to spy on a campaign, but whatever. And I'm going to call it spying. I just am. I don't think they that the FBI and the CIA in particular, John Brennan in particular, were clean actors in this. And so I hope they figure out what people did, and the ones who did wrong need to pay for it. Anyway, and looks like the stream has reconnected. Thank you. I think it's fixed. You can hit refresh. I'm going to refresh my screens too. Yeah, it's for some reason it dropped completely for a second there. All right, should be fixed. And y'all should be back right now. Okay, good. All right. Here we go. I'll go back. Page was thrust into the public eye in December 2017 when the Department of Justice released hundreds of text messages between her and Peter Strzok, which showed the pair mocking Trump and his supporters, calling the then candidate a disaster. Strzok was the lead investigator into Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election and Hillary's use of her personal email server, aka the mishandling of classified information investigation. Page resigned from the department in May 2018. Strzok was demoted to the FBI's Human Resources Division after their anti-Trump text came to light. So, anyway, so that's the didn't do part of the title today, as in didn't do nothing. Lisa Page didn't do nothing. Now, in the Daily Beast article, which I had it up here and I must have accidentally closed it. But anyway, the Daily Beast article, she just says she doesn't feel like she did anything wrong. That nothing, even though that, the text showed a very heavy bias, she just didn't have any bias. So anyway, good morning, Seamus. How you doing? All right. So I may not have read that right. So that's the didn't do. Now let's get into the Darwin, because we have perhaps... Well, at least it's a candidate for the 2019 Darwin Awards. This one is actually extra special. So, apparently, a booby trap kills man in his own home on Thanksgiving night. And there it goes again with the damn shut the hell up. There you go. A man was shot and killed after he set off a booby trap in his own home on Thanksgiving night. Ronald Sir, 65, of Van Buren, Maine, died of injuries sustained at his home on November 28th after a handgun that was designed to fire upon anybody entering the front door of his residence went off. Officer Chandler Modor of the Van Buren Police Department, assisted by U.S. Border Patrol, responded to a call indicating that Sir had been shot, but when officers arrived on the scene, they discovered that he had been injured by a booby trap that he allegedly set up himself, according to a statement released by the Van Buren Police Department. Several other booby traps were found at Sir's residence, causing investigators to contact the Maine State Police Bomb Squad. However, following an extensive investigation that lasted several hours, it was determined that Sir had been shot unintentionally after discharging his own booby trap. Regrettably, Mr. Sir succumbed to the injuries sustained from the gunshot, said a statement from the Van Buren Police Department. It is unknown why Sir had set up the booby traps at his home or how he managed to accidentally detonate the device. So, setting up booby traps in your own home, I don't know that that's a good idea. That's certainly a Darwin Award worthy feat, so to speak. Alrighty, and then now this next one's not so much a Darwin Award, but well, let's just how do we want to? Well, I'll let you guys decide how to quantify this next one. Man beats peeping Tom to death after catching him outside girlfriend's window. And this is a Florida man story. Thank you. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Dying. Sorry about that. I need a sip of my reparations coffee. By the way, hi there. I do have my reparations coffee in hand. I'm ready to have a sip. So delicious. All right, back to the story. A Florida man has been arrested after catching a peeping Tom outside his window and beating him to death. Victor Vickery of Delray, Florida, faces a manslaughter charge in the death of 57-year-old Assad Akar in the incident that occurred in July of last year, according to ABC's Miami affiliate, WPLG. Hi, Lindsay. Hello. Oh, yeah, I know. I'm really loud. I know that. Vickery was getting intimate with his girlfriend in a bedroom in her Fort Lauderdale home, according to the arrest report obtained by WPLG, when they heard a scratching noise coming from outside the window. Vickery went outside to go and inspect the source of the noise and allegedly found a car standing partly naked by the window. A fight then broke out between Vickery and Akar while Vickery's girlfriend called the police. Akar, who allegedly had a previous criminal record for prowling, was taken to the hospital after the altercation but died in the hospital from his injuries less than 2 hours later. Vickery told police that he has had to call the authorities to report a peeping Tom on the premises before. Vickery was arrested and charged with the car's death on Thursday and is now being held behind bars on a $100,000 bond while he awaits trial. Now, let's just think about this. And I know I didn't leave the story up there. I never hit the little transition. So there is Victor Vickery, the guy who beat the hell out of Assad Akar. In the chat, let's just vote one or two. One, if you think Vickery will be let off by a jury of his peers. And two, if he'll be convicted of convicted of what are they charging him with? I think they're charging him with manslaughter, which may be because a crime of passion, perhaps. Yes, faces a manslaughter charge for beating him up and the guy dying. Or C, do you think they'll let him off or give him a pat on the wrist? So one, completely letting him off. Two, full manslaughter charge. Three, pat on the wrist. That's just curious. Anyway. All right. So, real quick, let's do the shill, even though I kind of did it already. But thank you, everybody, for being here. The Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. If you'd be so kind, hit that share arrow right down there. There's that arrow that says share, and share the stream out. Now, you may have also found it from my tweets. In fact, let me put the tweet up there today. I did tweet the show out because I remembered to do that this morning. If you'd be so kind, if you haven't done so, you can also, let's get that right one up there. There we go. Here's the tweet. If you want to retweet this instead, that'd be, whoops, what the hell did I do there? Copy and paste, click, and in the chat is the tweet. You can send that out or you can hit the share arrow. Also, while you're thinking about it, if you like what we do, hit the like button or I'll remind you before we leave so you can do it on the way out. And finally, Super Chats we do through the Streamlabs link in the description down below. Has this been popping in? Where's my Streamlabs moderator? Why is that not working? Well, we'll figure that out. I'm going to see if I can figure that out while we're talking here. Let's see. Real quick, my bad here. Make sure CloudBot is on. CloudBot is on. And it's the moderator's there. Did I mess that up? Here, let's do this. Copy. Well, we'll figure it out later. I won't do it right now. Anyway, the Streamlabs link is in the description down below. All right, next. What else we got? Oh, you know what? So yesterday, I noticed this when I was on Twitter after the show Saturday, and I noticed that as I was watching football, 60 Minutes was going to have a feature about YouTube. And every time there's something about YouTube and a major news network or whatever, it always seems like shit's going to hit the fan again. And so I didn't watch it. I've been watching clips on it on YouTube, on Twitter, because there's the 60 Minutes tab has all the little clips from the show. But I found a pretty good description of the show here. So we're going to go through it on this article from Reclaim the Net. And there we go. 60 Minutes host Leslie Stahl pushes YouTube's CEO Susan Wojcicki to restrict videos more during interviews. Ironic that a person in the news who probably should be an advocate for the First Amendment be pushing for censoring people, but I digress. She says Leslie Stahl actually told Susan Wojcicki, I don't know how you're saying him, Wojcicki, the quote, "You're not operating under some freedom of speech mandate," end quote. Well, YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki appeared on CBS 60 Minutes on Sunday evening, and instead of delving into all the problems that YouTube creators are facing on the platform as a result of overzealous moderation and increasing restrictions, host Leslie Stahl wanted to talk about all the ways that YouTube could be moderated even further. Yay! Opening the show, Stahl said that YouTube has come under increasing scrutiny, accused of propagating white supremacy, peddling conspiracy theories, and profiting from it all, setting the tone for what was 60 minutes of viewing that would leave YouTube creators frustrated that the mainstream narrative, once again, is that YouTube requires even more censorship. Wow. You know what's funny about this, too, is a lot of the news business, mainstream media is, I'm not saying it's dying. It's fully there. But the thing is, people get their news from a lot of different sources now. They're getting a lot from social media, retweets, quicks, links, whatever. And the news media really, really doesn't like these platforms. And, they like to be in control of all the narratives. They like, and whether or not there's misinformation or whatever on YouTube, there's a lot of good information on YouTube too. And there's a lot of different voices that wouldn't be able to amplify their ideas without YouTube or without Twitter or without Facebook or all these social media. And it just seems like the people who want to control the narrative don't like that idea. So anyway, Wojcicki's interviews have been gaining more attention of late as creators frustrated at being demonetized at every turn and having their livelihood cut off with little help from YouTube are wanting to hear what Wojcicki is going to do to fix it. But this wasn't that type of interview. It was the usual type of interview where a mainstream media outlet calls on its new media competitor, YouTube, to moderate and restrict content even further. Yay! Stahl didn't press Wojcicki about the upcoming COPPA changes that would cut creator revenue by up to 90% if their content is made for kids, or how Wojcicki planned on helping creators with that. Viewers who are even remotely familiar with YouTube and YouTube culture could get an idea of what type of interview they were about to watch, and that it would be a major culture clash when Stahl describes people who watch unboxing videos, where people reveal their first impression of their new products such as smartphones or laptops, as a phenomena where millions watch strangers open boxes. Oh, Leslie Stahl doesn't understand YouTube. Anyway, Stahl described the popularity of ASMR videos as millions of people watching strangers whisper. Because that's what ASMR is. It's when you whisper. Hey, who was it? Somebody said, "Oh, hello, Axinar. I'm glad you're here. And Lindsay, I don't know if you can hear me, but this is me doing ASMR. I could do this really good. I should try these sometime." Anyway, during the interview, Wojcicki announced that YouTube has removed 9 million videos in just one quarter. also known as the purge. Anyway, the topic of hate speech is always one that YouTubers are looking out for. Many have had their videos demonetized or deleted for engaging in what YouTube says is hate speech. Even those creating videos about historical modeling have had their videos removed as the algorithm has suggested that their content is somehow hateful. Independent journalists have also suffered from YouTube's algorithm, determining that their content is hate speech, leaving them unable to report the news. The more YouTube tries to crack down on hate speech, the more the platform appears to get it wrong, and the platform doesn't seem too quick to help those creators caught in the crossfire. Yes, they really actually suck at it. But during the 60 Minutes interview, Stahl was intent on encouraging the YouTube CEO, to do more to tackle hate speech. Okay, thank you, Lizzie. You recently tightened your policy on hate speech, Stahl said. Why did you wait so long? When Wujiji agreed. Well, we have had hate policies since the very beginning of YouTube, and Wujiji attempted to answer, but Stahl cut her off. But pretty ineffective. Stahl cut in. Fuck off, Leslie. No, she didn't say that. Wujiji then tried to talk about the moderators and how YouTube is moderated by a combination of machine learning and human moderators, which also suck. Stahl suggested that for the moderators, it must be very stressful to be looking at these questionable videos. What, the questionable videos, Leslie? Really? Oh, I know what that means. That means videos that disagree with what you agree with or what you believe, right? Is that questionable? I know there's some, there's some problematic videos out there, but Leslie, just fuck off. Okay. Anyway, Stahl suggested that for the moderators, it must be very stressful looking at these questionable videos, and that she's heard they're beginning to buy the conspiracy theories. Oh no! Wujiji showed Stahl 2 videos to show how hard it is to moderate videos on the platform. In one video, Wujiji played a clip of a man being physically abused and kicked in the head in Syria that Wujiji allowed to remain on the platform. Wujiji said that this video is allowed because it's uploaded by a group trying to expose the violence. Wujiji then showed a video of Hitler and marching Nazi soldiers, one that didn't contain any violence, and it looked like totally historical footage that you would see on the History Channel, Stahl said. But Wujiji explained that they removed that video because in the corner of the video it contained the number 1418. 1418 is code used by white supremacists to identify one another, Stahl suggests. Wujiji explained that they work with experts so they know what 1418 means and that they also know the hand signals the messaging, the flags, the songs that can be used to identify white supremacists. Oh shit, I'm in trouble now. Wait a minute, I'm not white. I can do that. Never mind. During the interview, Wujiji said didn't seem totally unaware of the inconsistencies with her moderation policies. You can go too far and that can become censorship, she said. But Stahl reminded Wujiji that she doesn't have to support freedom of speech. Oh, now Maniac Man, someone else brought that up when she talked about that. I know. Wait a minute, Maniac Man, how do you know it's 1488? Yeah, 1488, sure. That's, I think 14 for the 14 words and 88 for the 2 H's, which is Heil Hitler. But apparently according to the Southern Poverty Law Center, is that or the ADL? One of those grievance grifter groups. 1418 can also be one because the 14 words, and 1 and 8 is the first letter, and the 8th letter, which is AH, which stands for Adolf Hitler. Hey! I'm going to be demonetized now. Oh, wait, I'm not monetized. That's why I use the Streamlabs link. Streamlabs link in the description down below. Thanks. All right, so there you go. But during the interview, let's see. Stahl reminded, this is awesome. Stahl reminded Washington that she doesn't have to support freedom of speech. Thanks, Leslie Stahl, who's on a news program on American television. You're not operating under some freedom of speech mandate. You get to pick the host's press to Washington. We do, but we think there's a lot of benefit from being able to hear from groups and underrepresented groups that otherwise we never would have heard from, which she said. So, I'm going to have to go into that anyway. And what about medical quackery on the site? Like turmeric can reverse cancer, bleach cures autism, vaccines cause autism, Stahl said. The law under 230 does not hold you responsible for user-generated content, but in that you recommend things sometimes 1,000 times, sometimes 5,000 times. Shouldn't you be held responsible for that material because you recommend it? Hold up there, Leslie, babe. Again, they're talking. What they're talking about is Rule 230, the 230 rule that says that they're a platform, not a publisher, and so they can't be held responsible for what's put on their platform. Anyway, Wojcicki said, well, our systems wouldn't work without recommending. And so if Stahl, I'm not saying don't recommend. I'm just saying be responsible when you recommend so many times. Yeah. It sounds like she was a bit combative. Wojcicki, if we were held liable for every single piece of content that we recommended, we would have to review it. And Stahl explained that YouTube started reprogramming its algorithms in the U.S. to recommend questionable videos, much less and point users who search for that kind of material to authoritative sources like news clips. Oh, like news clips from CBS? Oh, thank you, YouTube. Thank you for sending me right back to the mainstream news that I don't really watch and care about anyway. All right. Data shows that YouTube's authoritative sources algorithm pushed that severely cut the recommendations of independent creators who are the backbone of the YouTube platform and began to push recommendations of platforms like CNN and MSNBC, which is the type of content that YouTube viewers are often looking to avoid when they come to YouTube. Hey, see? Reclaim the Net gets it. Leslie Stahl's style and line of questioning suggests she doesn't understand YouTube, but she wouldn't mind policing it. Anyway, the full interview, I will put a copy. Here's the link to the 60 Minutes site. I'll put that in the chat. You can watch that yourself. I just would like to throw it in the bin. There you go. I might just start the day drinking again. Seamus, you got right, yes. And Francis Lancer, 1418. I'm pretty sure. Now I've never heard the 1418 myself, but then I thought about it because the 88 stands for the 8th letter in the alphabet, which H is HH, and so 1 and 8. That's the only thing I could think of was 1-8 AH Adolf Hitler. I don't know, but 'tis what it is, and that's how the cookie crumbles. That's how the big ball rolls down the hill, or what else you can add to that. All right, enough of that. What is this? Oh, this is that. So over the weekend, I wanted to go. I'm sorry. Let me go back. I wanted to actually. Well, first of all, thanks G Prime and RVA for tweeting out the show. I appreciate that. I want to find this again, 60 Minutes, because something that really kind of just pissed me off. So I went under the Twitter feed of 60 Minutes. And as you scroll down through this now, of course, let's see, Gab Trends, the entire 60 Minutes YouTube segment was about preparing the public for the massive December 10th purge of politically incorrect creators on December 10th and beyond. Yeah, they're going to, the new guidelines go into effect in 8 days on the 10th of December, where commercially, now there's been a lot of controversy about this little commercially viable clause in YouTube where they say they can terminate something, something viable, blah, 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 blah. I'm not sure if they mean features or actual channels. They've kind of gone back and forth on what that meant, which is unfortunate. I say I've had another glitch here. I hope everything's working, guys. Am I freezing again? PDI 4chan managed to troll them by using the same overthinking they do with the OK hand sign. Yeah, that's why that was the joke about the hand sign there. It's just ridiculous. But so back into that. Here's the Twitter, the hashtag. Now, one thing that's really bugging me about this, many things, because clearly Leslie Stahl doesn't know shit about YouTube, but every time they do one of these interviews or any one of these stories, then YouTube starts fucking with people. And I really it's annoying. But in this hashtag, if you scroll down, now they got little clips from the show, and I watched a few of these, and every time I watch one, my head on YouTube, they try to get people banned everywhere. Is it buffering again? You probably just need to refresh. I'm having, let's see. Just try and refresh if you're buffering. One of these days to the moon. Anyway. That's another reason I can't move it upstairs, because I don't have my laptop anymore. I might have to set up something downstairs where I can do a landline into my computer. Anyway, I just need a new computer. I'll figure that out. So Sleeping Giants. Anyway, their whole thing is, let's see who we can get deplatformed today. Or who we can get them people to drop their advertisers. And it's one guy. But Sleeping Giants sounds like an organization. And here it is. Here's what they are. Sleeping Giants, a campaign to make bigotry and sexism less profitable. They're the worst, according to Steve Bannon. Okay? Here he says, Susan Wojcicki would like everyone to believe that free speech applies to her platform, but it is as dishonest an argument as you can get. YouTube is an advertising and data mining platform. Free speech protects us from government censorship, not our place on a paid social platform. Wow. Let's see. Here, let's go into theirs. We'll just go into their feed, because that's all they talked about this morning. Sleeping Giants. But this is the kind of stuff they do. Disinformation on Facebook has already led to a genocide in Myanmar. What? It is a fucking crime that we're still talking about whether or not this company should be allowed to get paid to pump more of it out into the world. How did Facebook cause Myanmar? But let's see. I want to find. Oh, here we go. The racists are really whipped into a frenzy over this 60-minute piece tonight because they know their days of being able to spread their crap on these paid advertising platforms are numbered. Ultimately, the platforms are going to choose advertising dollars over all else. For platforms like YouTube and Facebook are holding the line with this free speech argument that doesn't apply to them. As soon as advertisers start backing away because of brand safety issues, which they already are, they will dump the Nazis without thinking twice. Yeah, who are the Nazis, you fucking asshole? Who is it? It's funny how oh my God, they're the Nazis. You're the Nazis. Why are the Nazis acting like why are the not Nazis acting like Nazis? Meanwhile, as Sleeping Giants knows, the racists who use YouTube are really going wild tonight over the 60-minute segment. Soft as it was. Oh yeah, it's the racists who are doing it, right? It's the racist. Oh my God. Anyway, if it were, in fact, you can just give an FTG for Sleeping Giants right now anyway, which is actually one dickhead. But he loves what he does. I'm sure people send him a lot of money. All right, moving on. What else we got today? What else I've got all sorts of bookmarks on Twitter too. I still got time. Let's see the truth. Oh no, not that one. We're not reading that. I don't give a shit about that. Oh, hey, remember? So last week, Washitsky, Susan Washitsky. That is easier to pronounce, as opposed to Washitsky. But anyway, so remember last week there was kind of a hubbub. It was a Thursday or Friday or whatever. We were talking about how there were these polls that said that among African Americans, maybe I don't know. Did I talk about this? Maybe we talked about it on another platform on somebody else's show. But that like 34% of African Americans in these couple of polls had a positive view of Trump's job approval. Showed a 34% approval for the job Trump is doing. And people were losing their minds. They were going nuts. And, like Anna Navarro got on there and said, well, they must have only went into that guy with the cowboy hat's house. And she did some disparaging remarks about Diamond and Silk and blah, blah, only went in these particular houses. And I'm like, you know what? It was odd because it was a Rasmussen poll, and sometimes there's kind of skews a little bit towards the right. But then there was this Emerson poll, which was like second most accurate poll to the last election. Both of them said approval among African Americans for Trump was 34%. And it still could be an outlier because the Rasmussen does a weekly tracking poll. The week before it was 17%. But then this happened. And it was a hot topic over the weekend. And oh, by the way, Rasmussen actually came out and said, Rasmussen, we were talking about this. Oh, it was a Monkey in the Morning. We were talking about this. Rasmussen actually came out and said, you know what? Nope, don't believe our poll. It just probably, could be an outlier, this and that, blah, 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 blah. Don't do this. Never seen a polling company ever do that before. And then the Emerson poll comes out and is about the same. Well, now there's a third poll. And then there were three. Marist poll shows 33% approval for Trump among non-white voters. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? How is this happening? Now they make the mistake. They made a mistake right in the first freaking sentence. Okay? The first sentence here, as painful as it is, the Blexit movement seems to really have an impact among the African American community. Okay, hang on. Now, there may be some minor, very minor, very, very minor impact that the Blexit movement, but the Blexit movement is still pretty small. And there have been other movements walk away. There's several different movements, and I hate to have them give credit to Blexit because Blexit is all Candace Owens, and there's a bunch of people involved with it that I like, but just I don't need her head getting any bigger than it already is. Oh, it's painful. The Blexit movement seems to really have an impact among the African American community. We now have 3 polls showing high approval numbers for President Donald Trump among ethnic minorities: Rasmussen, Emerson, and Marist. The new NPR PBS NewsHour Marist poll concludes that 33% of non-white voters approve of Donald J. Trump's performance as president. 57% of non-white voters supposedly disapprove of his performance. Although these would be horrendous approval ratings for a Democrat, they are actually very good for the Republican. For example, back in 2005, African-American approval of then President George W. Bush was a mere 16%. As we reported on Monday, both a Rasmussen poll and a poll by Emerson showed 34% approval of President Trump among African Americans. The poll results were, of course, blasted. They were blasted, isn't even a word for it. Blasted by liberals who just couldn't believe that black Americans would think positively of a man they, know-it-all left-wingers, hate so much. See, for example, CNN crybaby Ana Navarro Cardenas. Although the new Marist poll doesn't differentiate specific ethnic minorities, the non-white support for President Trump is extremely good news. African American and Hispanics are by far the largest minority groups. They're also just about equal of size. This means that it is indeed likely that African American support for the president has increased significantly in recent months. So far, no reports have been published on the reasons for this increased approval rating among minorities. However, it is likely to be driven by both the impeachment scam. Oh, do not say it again! And the Brexit movement. No! Who wrote this? Michael van der Galen. I'm going to have a chat with Michael. Oh my God. No. I would think maybe I would think maybe the fact that African Americans, black people in the United States, can see that the economy getting better for the United States, aka Make America Great Again, includes all Americans. Okay? I get frustrated when people when they have that, well, Make America Great Again. Does that just mean Make America White Again? No, it doesn't. And that would be a selling point. Some people, here's an argument that really pisses me off whenever I see it. Some of these Brexit people, when you say, when people say Donald Trump is racist, and someone makes the argument that, well, how could Donald Trump be racist? He made the unemployment rate for black people the lowest ever. That is not a good answer. Okay? Donald Trump's not racist because he doesn't really care who benefits from what he does. He thinks he wants all of America to improve, okay? And that's the selling point. When someone says, if America gets better, if things happen better in America, if the unemployment rate drops for everybody, is that also good for black Americans? Absolutely. Okay? If the economy goes into the shitter, is that bad for all Americans, including African Americans? Absolutely. So that's the selling point. I don't want anything special from our president. I just want the country to be better and all boats rise. The rising tide raises all boats, lifts all boats. That's all we need. And that probably the economy. Who was it that said that? It's the economy, stupid. Some politician back. I can't remember if it was it Reagan or Clinton or what? It's the economy, stupid. That's the approval, okay? Impeachment probably has part of it too, because psychologically black people get blamed for a lot of shit that sometimes they don't do. That's the perception, right? So there's a little bit of empathy for the president, them, whatever they're doing. But don't use that argument anymore. It's a stupid argument. If you want to say, give examples of why the president is not racist, well, you can certainly look at his past and all the black people he used to hang around. I mean, he hangs around the black community, which is mostly black. He spent a lot of time with the rappers, who is mostly black. He had all kinds of, you got thousands of pictures of him hanging out with the brothers, the wealthy brothers, but the brothers, right? Also, prison reform. Now that, maybe you could use that. Now that would be a valid one because that benefits a larger percentage of black people. Okay, than other ethnicities. Okay, or opportunity zones in low income areas, which benefits black entrepreneurs. That you can use, but the unemployment rate is just a factor of his success or the country's success. If the country is successful, the economy is successful, that benefits all Americans. And that should be your selling point. When, I want to write a commercial for him. When I said make America great again, some people like to say that means make America white again. No, it doesn't. That means when you make America great, it makes America great for all Americans, all people who want to come here legally, all people who want to become U.S. citizens. That's what Make America Great Again means. It means we make America great for everybody who is a part of this great experiment in history. And if we can continue to make America great, it's great for you too. It helps. How many black people do you know, or how many people in your neighborhood do you know that were struggling, that have jobs now? How many people in the hood are working that have money in their pocket because we did some tax reform that benefited all middle-class Americans? You know that 72% of Americans are not below the poverty line? All those black people that this tax cuts benefited that are middle-class Americans? So yes, Make America Great is for all Americans. Now, I'm not even a Trump guy. I didn't vote for him in 2016. Remember, I voted for that meteor thing, that rock. But I can tell you, that is a weak argument if you go into the black community. And it's not, it's funny because I'm having a Twitter DM conversation with someone who is asking me, why am I always shitting on, black Republicans? Do I shit on black Republicans, people who watch me? I don't do that. What I do though, is I can tell you, as I'm listening to other people that I talk to on Twitter that have different ideas, you would be surprised how many black conservatives there are on Twitter. And a lot of them have different ideas about a lot of different things. And so we talk and we don't agree on everything. But if you're trying to attract black voters and not just black approval, sometimes you got to go into those communities and say, look, it's not about, it can no longer be, what do you have to lose? But it has to be, what have you gained? Okay? What have you gained and what do you have to gain if there are more jobs, if there's more opportunities, if there's more opportunities to start businesses, if we, are working on developing entrepreneurship in this area where we think could flourish for black people. Okay. That's how you attract votes. And that's how and it's still under conservative principles. Lindsay Blexit okay, there you go. Cynical Lindsay. It's a movement that Ms. Owens has put her name on, that the black people exiting the Democratic Party. Yes, saying that you don't have to be part of the Democratic Party. Kind of like, was it Brexit in Great Britain? They're trying to leave the EU. It's a play on words. And actually, the term itself was originally used by, I can't remember the name of the bank, but there's a bank that's owned by black people it's a black owned bank that used that as in, I don't know, asking black people to come invest your money with us. And, but anyway, is a stolen term, but anyway, it's a long deal. And again, me not being a fan of Candace doesn't mean that I don't agree with some of the things she says. I just have a problem with the fact that she has a hard time getting past talking points. And once you get past the talking points, she doesn't know what to say anymore. And she ends up saying stupid shit that isn't good for her. And I personally just think she's in it for the fame, the adulation and whatnot. And I've just never, anyway, I don't want to talk about her again. I'll have this conversation with that person that who gets upset with me. But anyway, back to this article as I've gone on a tangent. Then we'll get into Twitter trends here in a second. And then, oh gosh. And then they quote Candace Owens, of course. Oh, so far, no reports have been published on the reasons for this increased approval rating among minorities. However, it's likely that it is driven by both the impeachment scam and by the Brexit movement. No, it's not. This movement, led among others by Candace Owens, tries to convince African Americans to turn their backs on the Democratic Party. And she says they sure did. It's unfortunately for Democrats, Black Americans finally waking up to it. Blah, 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 whoever. If true, this will truly be a massive earthquake in American politics if Democrats no longer own the black vote, as in getting 90% of the black vote without having to actually do anything for it. There's literally no chance of them winning a presidential election. Now, on that note, back to me. On that note, it's interesting because clearly the Republicans don't need the African American vote to win, at least for the presidency. But if that 90% number even drops a few percentage points, it absolutely would guarantee Trump re-election. It absolutely would. I mean, if it went down from 90 to 85%, you don't need it to be. You don't need it 30%. That would be 67%. You don't need 33% of black votes to keep Trump in office. I mean, if he gets 5%, that's a landslide victory for him. I mean, that, other than maybe California and New York, that would be a ridiculous landslide. So it's interesting that this is the third poll that his approval rating among non-white voters is in the 30s and not the single digits. So anyway, now thank you for reminding me that old, here, let's put this in the chat real quick. Okay, that's my notification. The Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. If you want to do donations, I'm going to put that in the chat because my Streamlabs moderator is not working. Oh, that's weird. I don't have any moderators. I just noticed that. Oh, Della Hayes is in here. That's really weird that my moderators aren't showing up either. Anyway, so there you go. If you want to do a super chat, you can do them in the Streamlabs link, which I just put in the chat. All right, let's get into what's going on Twitter. I did get through almost all of them. Actually, let's do this last one. Let's do this one more article, and then we'll breeze through the Twitter trends today. But this last one, who did it? There was actually, I think, the first live stream on BitChute the other day. Someone did a live, was it Medicare? Somebody did the first live stream on BitChute. And am I, okay, buffering again? No, we're good. And I was like, holy shit, I saw it, and I'm like, I didn't get to watch it. Apparently, BitChute's figuring out how to do live streaming I don't know, they're figuring it out. Anyway, okay, I'll repeat that. YouTube on December 10th reportedly will implement new terms of service that will allow the video sharing Goliath to end creator accounts summarily if they cannot be monetized. Now, they say that that's not what they're doing. I've read some things where they say, no, that means if certain features are not profitable. But anyway, and how will YouTube decide if an account cannot be monetized? By removing ads from a channel ahead of the changing terms. British nationalist Laura Towler sounded the alarm on Wednesday and urged her viewers to subscribe to her BitChute account after receiving a notification from YouTube of the impending changes. Towler reported that her videos were still monetized as of Tuesday, but after she received the notice, she discovered that YouTube had preemptorily removed all of the ads on her videos. Shocker! As a result, her channel is no longer commercially viable, and that's their new catchphrase. Since 2016, and with increasing frequency, conservatives and nationalists are seeing their YouTube channels erased, often with no warning or explanation. In the blink of an eye, years of work creating content and building an audience are lost, often along with the related income. You should see the whole Medicare story. They yeeted his monetization, and they still owe him $4,000, and he is not happy about it. Towler is not the first right-of-center vlogger to warn another of impending purge. Earlier this month, Chadwick Moore, a columnist for Spectator USA with 51,100 Twitter followers, tweeted, "Any political YouTubers with remotely interesting, controversial, or right-of-center content needs to set up their BitChute or another alt account now and start moving videos over and promoting their new platform," says sources say massive purge is starting mid-December. Worse than ever. Not happy. The timing makes sense. With the Christmas season getting into full swing and the 2020 primary elections beginning in January, everyone's a little busier than usual and might not notice that their favorite YouTube channel has disappeared. In the depleted field of content creators that YouTube has still permitted to post despite their unwelcome content, who will be and social media giants? As an aside, and to show just how much has changed in American culture, there was a time when the ACLU would have defended Lana Lockteff and James Alsop and all the rest of YouTube's digital desperados. Desaparecidos, whatever that word means. Over the past few years, and especially during 2019, Google and Facebook have been buying their way into conservative and libertarian circles. Within the network of think tanks and PACs known as Conservatism Inc., who knows how much money they're throwing around. It's a smart business move for these social media monopolies. When people who develop ideas are getting paid, they tend to develop paid-for ideas. Oh, my. And you're kind of seeing a little bit. Google and Facebook can afford to buy their way into pretty much anything. Google's value as a company now exceeds $900 billion with a B. And their most recent balance sheet shows they're sitting on an astonishing $109 billion with a B in cash. Facebook, way behind Google, yet rich beyond comprehension, has a market value of $567 billion with a B and a mere $41 billion with a B in cash lying around. Several weeks ago, I had the pleasure of meeting two Google operatives who were staffing a table in the networking hall at a National Libertarian Conservative Conference, which shall remain unnamed. Apparently, these two Google employees had been experiencing nothing but warm affirmations of their private company prerogative to censor whomever they want, but they became uncomfortable when asked about their YouTube subsidiary's systematic deplatforming of various independent channels such as Red Ice TV, still available on BitChute. The more poised of the two promised to refer me to someone in the Google organization who would love to talk to you. After multiple follow-up emails sent in the subsequent weeks, a brief reply directed me to press@google.com. Following any more emails and voicemails left with Google's press relations office, the following reply came on November 21st. Hi. Per Susan's Q3 creator letter, YouTube is built on the premise of openness. Based on this open platform, millions of creators around the world have connected with global audiences, and many of them have built thriving businesses in the process. But openness comes with its challenges, which is why we have community guidelines that we update on an ongoing basis. And over the last few years, we've been investing significantly over the past few years in the teams and systems that protect YouTube. This work has focused on 4 pillars: removing violative content, whatever the hell that means, raising up authoritative content, means pushing bullshit on you, reducing the spread of borderline content, edgy, and rewarding trusted creators. Philip DeFranco. First of all, do these sound like the words of a platform or a publisher? Hey, you can answer that question in the chat, people. Does that sound like a platform, number 1, or a publisher, number 2? Vote with your fingers. Exactly what community guidelines were violative in the removal of Allsip and Red Ice TV? Could it be this? Quote, "Our products are platforms for free expression. We don't support content that promotes or condones violence against individuals or groups based on race or ethnic origin, religion, disability, gender, age, nationality, veteran status, caste, sexual orientation, or gender identity." Caste? Get the fuck out of here with that caste shit. This is, YouTube's in America. Fuck India. Okay, don't fuck India. Just caste? Come on. Or gender identity or content that incites hatred on the basis of these core characteristics. The operative words here to justify deplatforming would not be to, quote, promote or condone violence, end quote, because channels are banned that haven't done that. They must be, quote, content that incites hatred on the basis of these core characteristics, end quote. And there's a huge problem with this, because anything can now be said to incite hatred. YouTube is not a publisher. It is a platform. And this means it is exempted from liability for whatever content appears on the channels of individual creators. If content doesn't violate the First Amendment, it supposedly cannot be removed from a platform. The only reason YouTube can get away with it is that its parent company is sitting on $109 billion with a B in cash and could overwhelm any legal challenge. Ain't that the truth? But who would challenge them? Not libertarians, because Google is a private company. As if that justifies violating the conditions of its platform exemption, would Conservatism Inc. challenge Google or not? Is Google now pouring some of that $109 billion with a B in cash into donations to the charitable foundations and PACs that dole out money to conservative groups? Of course they are. And that's why some of the lefties are pissed off that they see Zuckerberg meeting with conservatives, having dinner, and having conservatives over for dinner. What do you think they're there for? He's doling out money to keep his ass out of trouble. The legal questions just got more subtle, however, with YouTube's new terms of service. Who is to deny advertisers the right to demand their ads avoid various types of content? Who is to deny a platform the right to deny a forum to channels that lack commercial viability? Can you occupy part of the public square if you don't pay for it? But don't taxes subsidize the internet? These are all great questions. And who will pay for the attorneys to make these arguments on behalf of the banished? If the ACLU and other powerful left-wing pressure groups, establishment conservatives and libertarians, and every major corporate online advertiser in America are paying legal fees for the other side, YouTube and its parent company Google had better think carefully about what they're about to do, because the nationalist right will consider another round of silencing not only to be a validation of their perception of a double standard, whereas social media monopolies hold conservative content to a different standard than liberal content, but also that this shows how social media monopolies have bought off the more moderate right wing. In other words, they will view the moderate right wing as complicit in the corporate muzzling of free speech. Then what? The strange case of Nick Fuentes offers a glimpse into what could come next. Only 21 years old, Fuentes likely would not have such a high profile if it were not for the social media giant's aggressive deplatforming efforts. It was only best summaries of what Fuentes has done can be found on the channel of an anonymous British YouTuber with 61,000 subscribers who goes by the name of On the Offensive. He presents a 30-minute series of video clips of college events hosted by Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA, where nearly every person during the Q&A asks uncomfortable questions about immigration and other issues where they feel betrayed by what they allege is a co-opted conservative establishment. Thanks to Fuentes and others, including the more studious Vincent James, there is now an intensifying civil war between what might be described as the nationalist right and the globalist right, despite the fact that both parties to this war are largely comprised of Trump supporters. As we're still having buffering problems, eh? It's desperate people doing radical things to be heard. You could agree with the sentiment even if you disagree with everything else. Google, Facebook, and the rest of social media giants, along with perhaps their new partners in Conservatism Inc., need to realize an historical truth. Every time you mow down another voice, the replacement voice arrives immediately. It grows faster and uses the censorship threat as a justification for more extreme speech. Censorship validates extremist content, both for the producer and the consumer. And that is what they have to say about that. All right, let's just do a quick run. That's absolutely every time as soon as they censor someone, another asshole comes up and is worse than the one before. So there you go. All right, let's get through. I'm going to go through Twitter trends. We're not going to do all of them, but we'll just get the ones that seem hot, because a lot of them are going to be related to the number one trend, which is known as today's number one Twitter trend, of course, is Cyber Monday. It is Cyber Monday, folks. The best deals on internet bought shit, or not. Let's see. The Independent says follow all the best Cyber Monday deals as they happen. Okay, that's okay. What the hell? 50% off Twitter marketing manifesto by Brian Sharp, a.k.a. Hotep Jesus. All right, that's on Cyber Monday. What else you got? Anyway, Cyber Monday. Go buy something. Buy something. Let me think about this. Buy something. Don't buy. I'm really more into, when I'm buying gifts, I like to go to local shops, although I do love when the ships just delivered to my house. That's always easy. But I don't know. Anyway, humor me with a super chat right now. All right, because I am not going to buy anything. Okay, number 2 is Monday motivation. Let's see if we can find one good one really quick and move on. Whenever desperation abounds, the sources of public information are first to be brought under its control. Wherever the cause of liberty is making its way, one of the highest accomplishments is the guarantee of the freedom of the press. You know, speaking of which, these social media platforms, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you use, they're also, they kind of are, even though they're supposedly just platforms, for the people who use them, it is their free expression. It is their press. It's me doing just this silly little editorial and news, whatever stream that I do every day. This is my press. My freedom of expression. And so it's just frustrated hearing how YouTube and all these, there's so many people who just don't want you to do what you do. The CBS is the powerful platforms out there doing hit pieces. The Wall Street Journal, when they did that first article that, caused the adpocalypse, when they did that article on PewDiePie, the problem is we're been chipping away at some of their revenue, and they don't like it. You know what? I went and got, or it didn't even get it. I didn't buy it. I was at the convenience store Sunday, and I was looking at the Sunday paper and how thin the Sunday papers are now. Their ad revenues in newspapers is ridiculously down. And a lot of it's due to these, the computers and stuff. And it's, I don't know what to do. They're fighting back. The mainstream news is fighting back, and they're kind of, I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, here's a Monday motivation. We focus too much on trying to live up to others' expectations and too little on forming and fulfilling our own expectations of ourselves. To separate image from identity, ask what goals you would pursue if no one would ever find out what you achieved. That's a good one. There's your money motivation. Let's move on. Cyber Monday again. Army Selka Day. Okay, never mind. It's K-pop related. Fuck it. Monday morning. Nope. Van Halen. Why is Van Halen trending? One of the great bands from the 80s. And Van Halen is not the Galileo of anything, so calm it with the goofy comparisons. Logs onto Twitter, sees why Van Halen is trending. Why is Van Halen trending? You motherfuckers checked out Van Halen trending, thinking maybe a new album, only then to see some bullshit about Billie English. Okay, what? Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish, and why he or she not know who Van Halen is. Okay, what did Billie Eilish say about Van Halen? If you're surprised Billie Eilish has never heard of Van Halen, well, then you might be a lot more surprised by the shit Eddie Van Halen himself is oblivious to. Okay, so people are mad because Billie Eilish doesn't know who Van Halen is, and that's why they're trending. Hey, there's our first what do we call it? Twitter trend thought. Here's our thought of the day. Our thought of the day: looking for a guy with a juicy dick for my juicy figure. Oh, good! Yay! Moving on. Lisa Page. We already talked about Lisa Page. Steve Bullock suspends his presidential campaign. Oh no! This can't be! He has such high hopes! Montana Governor Steve Bullock is ending his presidential campaign. The two-term governor had tried to make the case he was the best bet to beat President Donald Trump because he was the only Democratic candidate to win a state that Trump won in 2016. Oh, damn it. Damn it. Steve Bullock is out of the race, people. He was our only hope. Okay, now, I have a new poll for the chat. If you knew Steve Bullock was running, press 1. If you have no idea who the fuck Steve Bullock is, press 2. I'll move on while you're doing that. Amazon Smile is trending because it is Cyber Monday. I'm skipping it. Liz Phair, the musician, is trending because, who knows, big 90s set. Oh, Alanis Morris. Oh, there's going to be oh, cool. A Jagged Little Pill 25th anniversary tour. Alanis Morissette, Garbage, and Liz Phair. How about that? Now, I know a lot of you probably know or are familiar with Alanis Morissette, maybe because she kind of was huge in the mid-90s with her Jagged Little Pill album. But did you know that she was like, well, some of you Canadians probably know this. She was like a Canadian, like, bebop pop, singer starting out. She was like, one of those Britney Spears types or whatever. And then she got kind of dark and edgy. Actually, I love that album, Jagged Little Pill. It's a great album. But anyway, Liz Phair is trending with that. Okay. President of Ukraine is trending because, breaking news, the president of Ukraine has just again announced that President Trump has done nothing wrong. This is the president tweeting. With respect to Ukraine and our interactions or calls, if the radical left Democrats were sane, which they are not, it would be case over. Yeah, okay. Trump tweets it, it trends. I'm moving on. Jake Bentley is trending. Who is Jake Bentley? He's a quarterback for the University of South Carolina who is going to transfer. Senior quarterback Jake Bentley will transfer. I think he's graduating, and so he's going to do one of those graduate transfers. So, whatever. And then, let's see, Alyssa Violet. Who the fuck is Alyssa Violet? I don't know. Is it something I care about? Jake Paul, after hearing FaZe Banks cheated on Alyssa Violet. Okay, that's internet drama. We're skipping it. Andrew Knapp. Who is Andrew Knapp? He's Phillies pitcher's Andrew Knapp. I see. Phillies pitchers when Andrew Knapp was catching, 4.24 ERA. Phillies pitchers when Andrew Knapp was not catching, 4.61. So apparently Knapp is a great catcher, and the Phillies have re-signed Andrew Knapp. You're probably happy about that. If you're a Phillies fan, there you go. She was on that. You can't do that on television. Yeah, she was that too. Yeah, Lindsay, I felt the same way when I read that. 25 years since Jagged Little Pill. Well, that was like, yeah, it was 1996, I believe. I was still bartending back then. I was bartending at TJ Fridays, and I was golfing 4 days a week, and my handicap got down to single digits. And yeah, way back when. Actually, I was already married by then. 96, 93, Jagged Little Pill, 94, 90. It was probably 94, I think. It was just after I got married that album came out. Good album, though. I like that album. All right, moving on. Victory Monday, that's NFL football. Brazil and Argentina. Oh, Trump to restore tariff on steel shipped from Brazil and Argentina. Brazil and Argentina have been presiding over a massive devaluation of their currencies, which is not good for our steel industry. Okay, so that's that. I'm not going to click it. The Monday, I don't know. So the Monday and Monday mood are kind of at the bottom here. So this last one, my mental health in 3 words. Do I click this one? Well, that's what we're going to finish with. My mental health in 3 words is near the bottom of the Twitter trends today. Let's check it out. My mental health in 3 words: live, thrive, love. Okay, they're kind of making fun of Marianne Williamson. You know, Marianne Williamson's still in the race. Marianne Williamson is still running for president of the United States, even though she hasn't been in the last few debates and whatever. But Marianne Williamson knows how to beat Trump. Okay, my mental health in 3 words. You know, not too many people are sticking to 3 words. Here we go. I am tired. Well, that's not okay. Words can kill. Something that you said to people can stuck forever in their mind. You won't even know if they cries all night about their personal problems that they have to deal with every day, right? Words can kill. That makes me, I don't know if I want to read any more of these. My mental health in 3 words: survive another day. It's okay if all you did today was breathe. Struggling, smiling about. Okay, this is way. I can't do this. This is too depressing. Too depressing. All right, let's get out of that. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for being here today at the Morning Night Live. I'm looking at you, kid. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT, and you know, I'm so glad we've had this time together. I won't finish that, but hey, please, before you go, while you're thinking about it, while I'm finishing out the show, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button on the way out. Also, you can still share this video, even though we're finishing up. You can share it because it's going to be a video later in the day because it'll come back as a video on YouTube. Share the video, and if you want to make donations to this show and to the channel, that can be done through the Streamlabs link anytime you want to in the description down below. Thank you so much for being here. I really do got to go today. We're gonna by the way, I never finished my thoughts. So the reason I started with the Christmas video, the reason I'm growing out the beard here, see that? I'm growing out again because the follow-up video of the 4 Martys is getting ready to drop. And I got to I haven't figured out what song I'm going to use this year, but I am going to do another 4 Martys video. And I got to have a beard just to do it because, Marty Francis has a full beard. So there you go. That's why it's growing out. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I gotta go. My name is P Dog Knight. And I am out of here. Have a great day. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.